Kyle, do you want to lead the front of this group? I'll jump on the other side. Somebody in the back.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is really pretty. The lighting's nice.
Other side.
Yeah, I'm gonna go as one. We can get another person on the other side. Twister is a massive interwoven structure. The Phoenix you can usually look through the structure. They all have points, keys, and raccoon droppings on the slide. A good rationale.
I've been riding horses for a long time. I've never not been afraid of heights.
Are you doing?
Yeah.
Any questions?
So I assume that somebody lost their stuff every now and then.
Yep, these guys in the back here walk this drive. We also have to have every single vent identified so that we can. Ride like Twister is tough because this huge flat surface absorbs a lot of wind. So it lifts it all kinds of wind after the other side.
Now that makes it more of a twister.
Exactly. That's a metaphorical twister as well. You can see mimicked here the exact same system in the lower hill. However, the lower hill is driven from the bottom, and the upper lift hill is driven from the top. Your box motors are on the top of the hill. much of the bike. It's hard because you can see through. Every gap here is small. You all have a fairly solid understanding of a wooden coaster, but there's 3 sections of track steel on these rides. You have your road wheel steel, of course for your running surface, your side steel that keeps the train tracking in the correct location, and depending on where you're at in the ride, you'll have upstop steel to prevent the train from lifting up and out. Usually where any type of a dip comes up and crests, that's where you'll have your upstop, because that's naturally the only spot where the train's going to pick up. With negative G's. Any positive G's where it's impossible for the train to lift at all, there's no need to put upstop steel in.
How many places have upstop steel?
Every spot that has a lift. I would. Prevalent on the Phoenix. Those are the 2 opposite dynamics. Here we try to twist you around with side G's. The Phoenix, everything's up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
I know
That has happened.
I know that happened on Superman in New England once.
Yeah.
Somebody lost, it was a scar. It got caught in the mechanism in the ride in the valley.
Yep. We don't often have a valley here. The only time I've ever seen a train valley on either ride would be at Phoenix on startup for the year, when you're not 100% certain how fast the train will move on an already cold morning with fresh grease. I know the twister, when it was put in, there was a lot of complication with the very last section of the ride. They started at either end and meshed that ride together. And right at that mesh point, all of your air is absorbed there. And that mesh point on this ride is just as you exit the helix. So next time you ride the twister, hopefully today, as you leave the helix, your banking angle very rapidly shifts back and forth in one spot. And you'll notice that spot in the base of the helix. So do take note of that today. You know, the only problem is where you place a coaster of that size here.
Yeah.
Take over the golf course. Said to them, I don't know if you heard it or not, sometimes we'll have a jar, a spike, and force us so we know where to direct our attention.
Yeah.
Where the train is. Now every bend is numbered.
So that system on the train repeats.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Phoenix used to use reflectors like this to actually tell our safety system where the train was, but they were side mounted. Now we use that Pepperell Fuchs proxy, the green box right here. So the one there was a fantastic ride. Being a Bartlett ride, the same guy who designed the flank turns.
Well,
do you have any more inside scoop on that at this point?
To be continued.
Okay.
That's a fireside story there.
Gotcha.
You have to climb the lift hill like a ladder because it's so steep.
Okay.
Up and down. And these catwalk grab boards here are much thicker on the lift hills. Template. Or cross back, and I think they do in a couple instances. Just like where you cross from lift hill to lift hill where it's solid in the middle, they'll do that in a couple.
there was one kid on the last run of the day that was just hitting the trees almost.
I know.
And then
You
he
should
was
have seen the test runs for the year. We were chopping limbs off the trees with the tubs.
Yeah.
and the kid was
Brady, I saw a video of you on there. You were
What?
really whipping that thing.
Don't say that.
You stood out from all of them. I knew it was the right one.
Like, I started doing it, but it was windy. I actually ended up staring when I fell. I'm like, oh, this is
Sometimes
going
you'll
too much.
accidentally snap the cables.
I know, it was. I started What's the craziest thing that you guys found while we're falling off the ride?
I don't know you want to know the answer to that.
Sexy lingerie.
Yeah, I'd say more along that line, yeah.
That's kind of funny. How does that even come off?
I would just take it as things you wouldn't expect. This is the lower lift pull wheel. When we did the flying turns, the new lift hill on the back, I think there was some argument's sake about what to name the ride, and that's why it ended up with that atrocious Raging Wolf Bob's. Dad! Dad!
The same walls.
I know.
Basically, if you get hurt, it's your fault. You should have known.
When we design stuff here, it's very stringent on how you have to do things with ASTM standards, which is good. I didn't mention this. I did on the Phoenix tour. Most people think that the hardware used on a wooden coaster has to be extremely strong to withstand all this motion. Every bolt and screw on a wooden coaster is grade 1.
Man, all the way up and down this way.
Yeah. Air compressor, backup air compressor for the safety systems, for the brakes. You can see your expansion tanks to compensate for rapid pressure decreases. We can quick take a glance at the control system if you want to see it. Yes.
You're asking ACE members if they want to see anything
Yeah.
related to
The answer
the
is
coaster.
Oh, yeah.
Power supplies and transformers to ride. Some spare cooling, they go through a lot of it. The twister operates with a relay logic safety system. The system has mechanical memory, knows where the trains are. Just watch your back. So just rotate through, take a glance in.
See a seat there.
That's a spare seat. Yep, there's some spare side pads and handrails as well.
Oh wow. How often do you have to rotate or replace these out?
That's not really a standard item.
Okay.
Usually every couple years we get these recoated. And then we do all the upholstery in-house. And whenever they tear,